Shalom, shalom. First thing first, I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that is due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and all learned this truth from. And salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth, and all sincerity and diligence, risking your lives and freedoms to do so. All right, shalom to the rest of the elect, as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. All right, this is your brother Rakaga Bar. All right, we got another episode of Esau playing God. Okay, another episode of Esau playing God here. All right, which I'm gonna try to play a couple of these videos, but apparently they've quote unquote resurrected a dire wolf. Okay, which is supposedly supposed to be an extinct predator that they've resurrected. When I seen this, it made me think of the precept when scriptures go into newly created creatures. Which whether or not it's if it's already been here, they're just saying it was extinct. But nonetheless, we know in these times, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, will unleash all types of predators, man, apex predators, to terrorize you people, man, to put a lot of people to death. I was watching one video earlier and they said this same company, which I'm going to play the video, they said this same company is also looking to resurrect a woolly mammoth. I think they said the raptor. They mentioned a couple other, animals that are said to be extinct, and hey, that really, is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah allowing them to do that for what, man? To ultimately bring judgment on you people, man. I mean, these are predators. I'm not too familiar with what the dire wolf, is. All right, but apparently can grow over 6 feet, 7 feet tall, and hey, let me play this video real quick, and then I'm gonna grab a couple precepts. But this is just showing you we're in them times to where, hey, the Most High is gonna cause he's really gonna cause a lot of shit to happen, man. He really gonna shake shit up, man. You're gonna see something walking down the street. You already got clips of people seeing the night walkers, and shit, and whatnot. These times are gonna be different, man. When we speak of all hell breaking loose, it's not just going to be, the economic collapse and world war and famine, and diseases everywhere. You also got to think about the creatures, man. You also got to think about these beasts, these predators that are going to resort back to, their true nature, man. Esau be trying to domesticate a fucking saber-toothed tiger and shit. You know what I'm saying? Whole time, some of these animals aren't designed to be domesticated, man. So he's sitting there playing God, whatever he's doing, trying to, DNA and surrogates and all this shit, man. This dude, hey, playing God is going to end very, very bad for this place, man.
We turn now to that remarkable scientific breakthrough. 13,000 years after the last dire wolf walked the earth, scientists say they've now brought them back. Here's our chief national correspondent back up and with the video tonight.
Tonight, a howl 13,000 years in the making. In a first for science, biotech company Colossal Biosciences says it brought the extinct dire wolf back to life, a species that hasn't walked the earth since the Stone Age.
The dire wolf is the first de-extinct species.
Well known from HBO's hit show Game of Thrones, ABC News given exclusive access into Colossal's lab in Dallas, where scientists are using genes from gray wolves.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even know that was the that wolf that was in Game of Thrones. I watched that show, but oh yeah, that's a vicious predator, man. So what the hell is Esau doing? You know what I'm saying? Looking to have these creatures, all right, extinct creatures, if you will, roaming on the earth, man. Well. Matter of fact, let's just grab this, because you got to understand, like I said, the beasts are going to be used for judgment too. Jeremiah 15 and from the top, then said Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And that's one of my favorite precepts, man, because really when all hell break loose, You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna have nothing else to say to you people, man. To our people specifically, because you the ones this message goes out to, these warnings go out to. They talking about bringing this fucking extinct creature that's not been here since thousands of years ago, you know, which we know the earth is only so old, but nonetheless, you know, these apex predators and shit, man. You know, newly created creatures that scriptures speak about. I mean, the Most High got stuff in reserve you ain't even seen yet, man. That the sight of it alone would fucking cause you to fucking have a heart attack. You know, not to mention Leviathan, you know, is gonna make an appearance. You know, the species, the Leviathan, you know. See, so, hey, man, but let me continue. It said, verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh, the sword to slay and the dogs to tear, the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. All right, and we know that was going into, you know, ancient times, you know, dealing with the Israelites, but that's really, you know, what's going to happen in this time too, man. You know, because the Most High is fed up with the wickedness, so he's going to unleash plagues. All right, and a part of those plagues is these beasts, these creatures. All right, that you know are going to terrorize people. And you see videos all the time. You know, fucking polar bear, or not a polar bear, but you know, some type of bear comes out the woods. You know, Esau sitting there grilling on his back patio deck. Bear come out the woods. You know what I'm saying? Sit on the lawn chair and start eating Esau food up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't really like them damn Edomites anyways. But, you know, this, hey, yeah, man, these are them times, man. You know, a lot of unprecedented behavior and activities, man.
To create dire wolves.
We've taken a gray wolf genome, a gray wolf cell, which is already genetically 99.5% identical to dire wolves, and we've edited those cells at multiple places in its DNA sequence to contain the dire wolf version of the DNA.
See, and that's another thing, man. With Esau playing God, this is why the Most High is going to destroy these devils, man. Read 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, man. It tells you who the devil is, man. Who the man of sin is. He sits as God. He tries to oppose the Most High and exalts himself as though he's God, man. Sitting there trying to bring creatures back and do it. And really, if anything happens, it's sanctioned and ordained by the Most High. But on the left hand, Esau's in his mind is by his might that he's able to do these things, man. You know, which is why the Most High is gonna put you fucking Edomites in your place, man.
Animal looks like a dire wolf, it will behave like a dire wolf, and it is a dire wolf.
Now, 7 months old, dire wolves.
Yeah, man, it ain't never good, man. Trying to play God, man. You doing shit, you know, them devils playing with the portals and shit, man. This is why, hey, that's why we warn you people these times, man. Hey, it's gonna be like something you've never been through before, man.
First direwolf howl in 10,000 years. The Times just wrote an article about it and described it as the return
T-Rex.
of the direwolf. Now, if you didn't already know, direwolves once roamed the Americas from Canada all the way down to Venezuela. But about 10,000 years ago, they vanished, going extinct along with other giant Ice Age animals like the mammoth. But their bones stayed behind. And fast forward to 2025, scientists at Colossal Biosciences recently discovered ancient DNA inside fossils that dated all the way back from 11,000 to 72,000 years old. Then, using that DNA that they discovered, they managed to decode the direwolf's entire genetic blueprint. And here is where things get wild. They took ordinary DNA from a gray wolf and then edited it gene by gene to perfectly match the ancient direwolf's genetic code. Then, using domestic dogs as surrogate mothers, Romulus and Remus were born in October. Colossal claim that they are the first de-extinct animals ever. And at just 6 months old, they are already 4 feet long, weigh 80 pounds. And what's crazier is that instead of being really friendly and cuddly, the Times report that they're kind of cold, cautious, and avoid humans entirely. They even
What the fuck do you expect, man? You know, and that's why I brought that precept out, because the Most High is going to use these beasts to slay you people, especially you Edomites, man. You're always tampering and doing something you ain't got no business messing with, man. You know, a lot of these animals, you know, Esau he'll try to domesticate a saber-tooth tiger, man. You know, a fucking polar bear. You know, some shit's not meant to be domesticated, man, or messed with. But, you know, this dude do it anyways and fucking open up Pandora's box. And that's really the times we in, man. You know, Pandora's box being opened up. Don't be surprised, man. You know, the shit you people about to see and hear and whatnot, don't be surprised, man.
Avoid the people who raised them and bottle-fed them from birth. Colossal posted about this achievement on X, saying, "This moment marks not just a milestone for us as a company, but also a leap forward for science, conservation, and humanity." They said they're aiming to revolutionize endangered species by mastering genetic technology. And if successful, not only could we hold on to our current species from going extinct, but maybe even bring back the ones lost to the past. However,
See, if the Most High wanted y'all to do it, hey, the Most High put these animals or these creatures up for a reason, man. You know, like the Leviathan, you know, but Esau always want to go fuck around and tamper with shit, you know, and it's the reason why, hey, this the reason why, you know, it's a lot of judgment is coming on this place, man. You know, Ezekiel, matter of fact, Salaki, this is, Wisdom of Solomon 11:17, it says, "For thy almighty hand that made the word of matter without form, or the world of matter without form, wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown wild beasts, you know, full of rage, newly created." And like I said, the most I could have it just, you know, by his means. All right, or he could have Esau, you know, playing around with shit and bringing back these creatures that's supposedly to be extinct for the purpose of what? For sicking them on you people. You wicked, man. You know? It says, or unknown wild beasts full of rage. You see? Newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scent of scattered smoke or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. With the Leviathan, they depict that as Godzilla. You know, he shoots the lasers, the fire out of his mouth. That's real. You know, there are creatures like that, man. You know, it says either breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scent of scattered smoke or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. So, you know, they talking about bringing these creatures back to life, and they want to play around with CRISPR, gene editing, and doing this and doing that. You know, they'll fuck around and bring back, hey, they'll you know, most all of them bring shit back that really they had no business messing with, man. And then what are you people gonna do? You know, but that's really it on that. You know, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, DTA, Wah Baba Ball, Shalom.